So from time to time, being a real estate investor, we buy properties inside of an HOA. That's a homeowners association, or POA, property owners association. They're responsible for making sure the common grounds are taken care of, upkeep in a building, if it's a building with several units, or if it's in a neighborhood like what we're talking about today, they make sure that everybody's maintaining their property, grass, roofs, all that stuff. Make sure that the neighborhood looks desirable. Well, what if the homeowner doesn't pay the HOA dues, right? So today in this video, we're gonna go over, can they go after the tenants if the homeowner doesn't pay the HOA fees? Let's see. All right, Roundup, it's Kris Haskins with therealestateroundup.com. My mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Happy holidays to you. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day for my people. They came over and man, we don't want to go there, but I'm thankful to be with my family, and I hope you enjoy your family during this time. And don't forget our Black Friday special is going on. I got tons of people coming on. Sharing Airbnb, Instagram people, Instagram trainers, tax delinquent people, all type of stuff. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and you can join our email list below so you don't miss any of our trainings, right? So can they go after the tenants? I'm like, this is really interesting to me, because today I'm going to prove to you that things may not always be as they seem. So let me give you a little bit of the backstory about this property many years ago. Very rarely do I buy inside of an HOA because I have lived in an HOA. It ain't cool, right? You're constantly getting letters about colors of paint, your roofing. If you have a fence, you might be missing a piece of fencing. The parking is always a hassle. It's just nasty. But I'm going to tell you about this particular property. Let me show you a picture of it. It's a nice house, man. By the fact, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage. I'm like, man, I'm good. I got a good deal here. But this HOA here, I think it's like, I don't even know, it's like $30 a month. It's not even a lot. So yes, I'm super busy, and from time to time I miss these things. I miss paying the fees because some of this property is owned by my IRA. So I have to order checks from the IRA, mail it in, all that stuff. So it can be a hassle. But let me show you what happened. Let's go back. Let's go back. So I didn't pay it. Let me tell you, here's the actual case, the case number and the details. So let's look here. So back in, what is that? December 2021, your boy didn't pay, and looks like they came after me 2021, and they got a judgment for $778, right? So that's what it was. I don't know, maybe for a couple years I don't know. I just missed it. You know what it was? During COVID, like 1920, I didn't pay it, COVID, whatever. So when you look here, I want you to see that the defendant, that's gonna be me, always, y'all, we buy properties in a trust. So you can see there, that's the name of my trust. We never put them in our name, so they got a judgment against a trust. I don't care. It's irrelevant to me. I don't own the properties. The judgment's not going to come to me. They say you sued me, the HOA. That's the plaintiff right there, and that's the HOA, the community association. The defendant is me. Boom, my trust. So they got the judgment here in March of 2022. Okay, so I didn't even get the letter in the mail. I didn't even know that they had, a judgment against my trust, right? Because it's against the trust. I mean, it's irrelevant to me. Not in my name, whatever. So over time, I finally ended up paying the majority of it, but whatever. So fast forward, right? I'm kind of embarrassed that I didn't pay this $700, right? Crazy. August, what happens? I don't know how this happens, but they literally take my tenant to court. So we got the plaintiff right here, same HOA, association. Name is, here we go, here's my tenant right here. My tenant is the one they're taking to court, AKA the property address is in Portsmouth, Virginia. So they went to court October, and apparently they got my tenant to sign over her rents for November. So what happened was, let me tell you how this all boiled down. It's November, right? And I'm real cool. I'm extremely flexible when it comes to people paying rent. I'm so blessed. I pass that blessing on to my residents, all my people work with. So come around November 10th, I sent out the notice I didn't get rent from this particular tenant, and she's a phenomenal tenant. Never had a problem. So November 16th, 17th, I just sent her a text like, this is unusual. Hey, what's going on with the rent? She goes, I paid the rent to the attorney. I'm like, what are you talking about? What attorney? So she calls me, she says, Kris, they took me to court. I had to take off work. They said they can garnish the rent based on the homeowner owing back HOA fees. And this doesn't make any sense to me. How in the world are they going to make the tenant pay something that I owe or the trust owes? So apparently she sent me the copy of her check. She mailed it to the attorney. They paid it, and I called them up. Obviously, I had made payments over time, so we only owe like $200. So they're mailing me that back. But my whole time I'm talking to all the experts and trusted advisors I know, I'm like, have you ever heard of an attorney garnishing a tenant based on the homeowner not paying HOA fees? So I started digging. And sure enough, check this out, y'all. I went to these attorneys. They are HOA attorneys. What is their name? Who are these guys? Nowak Howard, Community Association Attorneys. Nowak Howard. Let's see what they have to say, because they're attorneys, right? Finally, the association also has the option of a rent garnishment. Rent garnishment. That just doesn't sound cool to me. If the owner, that's me, is renting their unit, and if the association has information regarding the tenant, a rent garnishment is filed against the owner's tenant and requires them to pay their rent into the registry of the court. That's what just happened to me. The tenant had to pay, right? She paid her rent to somebody else rather than over to the owner. Rent garnishments are rare because tenants usually do not want to get involved in the owner's debt to the association. Obviously, they don't want to get involved. I don't know how they got my tenant's information because we don't even turn this stuff in. It is also generally recommended that a rent garnishment be filed only if the association has a copy of the tenant lease, so that information such as the tenant's name and monthly rent amount can be included. Round up, listen, you're hearing it directly from the horse's mouth. An attorney can garnish your tenant's rent if you don't pay the back HOA fees. Let me repeat that. They can come after your rents, homie, if you don't pay your HOA fees. Now, it's very rare. It's extremely rare from what I'm reading here. But how in the world is this possible? We have to CYA, cover our assets. So I had no idea. I was calling all my property managers, other investors I know. They're like, no, man, I know people I've actually bought real estate where there's thousands of dollars of back HOA dues, fees that are due, and I had to pay them upon buying the property. So usually they just let them ride. Now what generally happens with these HOAs is they ban the parking. They don't allow you parking. They may not give you a pool permit. Those small things like that. But when they're going in and actually seizing the rent from your tenant, we got a whole other ball game going on here, y'all. So keep that in mind as you move through and you consider buying real estate inside of an HOA. You just never know what sneaky tools, tricks, and tips they have up their sleeves to deploy to getting you to do what they're doing their will. I had no idea. So just imagine if I owed 10 grand. I wouldn't be getting rent for months. Now, obviously, I wouldn't want to do that, but things happen. Obviously, people fall on hard times. So just make sure you keep this in mind when you're buying inside of an HOA. And I highly recommend and suggest, if you don't have to own real estate inside of an HOA, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't be like me. And they got your rent. They got your homie's rent. Now I got to go begging, knocking, and calling. Because since I paid a lot of it, now she paid the rent into the court, to the attorney. Now they have to refund me of any overages. It's just crazy. All right, round up, exercise the Black Friday. Enjoy your family for this holiday season. Subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Share this stuff with any other homeowners, any other landlords. You better know this, because I don't want you to get blindsided when this thing comes down the pipeline like I was. All right, I ain't got my rents. All right, see you next time, round up. Peace.